Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Future Stars. And just to remind you, our topic is charity. And before the break, we was actually talking a little bit. Actually, the first thing that we actually showed you was a clip about when we was on Clifton Road, and then we saw this food bank. Yeah, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about that food bank as well. And Amin Evans is here to talk a little bit about that food bank with us. So can we start Evans off with a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
There are consequences of charity, and in the first part we discussed the obligations, and you provided some excellent evidences from Quran and Sunnah Hadith that everyone should really be aware of. But there's an aspect to charity and an aspect to Islamic economics that you touched on a little bit, and that's something we call wealth differentials. That means somebody having lots of money and somebody else not having much, and the rich person becomes arrogant and the poor person can become envious, and that when you mix envy with arrogance you tend to get discord, arguments, violence, thefts. And so in Islam there's a policy to level out wealth differentials, not eliminate them, because people should be rewarded for their work, but to smooth them out. So we pay zakat and khums so that poor people still have access to public services and get help with food and rent, hospital bills, education. That's all built into Islam 14,500 years ago. We had a welfare society. So we're in a society now that we call a modern capitalist society, an industrial society. And some people are just allowed to drop through what we call the safety net. They're allowed to become very poor, even homeless, when we live in a world where everyone could be fed 3 times a day and everyone could be housed at reasonable cost. Excuse me. And as Muslims, we can't just stand by and leave people homeless and starving. And so the starting of the food bank by who is Hussein, it's not my project. I just encourage them, who are basically young people. And I think Dr. Noshad, who you saw on the video, claims to be the eldest of the young people, is fulfilling a duty that the whole community has to stop people being hungry and shelterless. And so the food bank is a wonderful thing, because we're actually taking actions to prevent violence in society, to stop resentment, to stop ill feeling and jealousy. So the rewards, even for just saying to the volunteers, you're doing a good job, are tremendous. These are, if you're looking at scales of Thawab building, you'll know the story that Sayyidina Fatima Zahra alayhi salam was given some gold and she passed it on to someone else, and he went through all the companions and it came back to her. And the Prophet heard of this and said, you know, mashallah, every time it was given, the thawab increased until it came back to you. And in like manner, when you give someone who is charitable encouragement, you not only get the thawab for the charity you're giving, but you get reward for the charity that they give under your encouragement. So the food bank shouldn't be just seen as a chance to give. It's a bank, but the interest it pays is in thawab, granted for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a wonderful thing, and anybody who can support the Clifton Road Food Bank, and as I say, we've seen Uncle Noshad, but the main person running it is Shabir Jivraj, who's an uncle to some of you, but he's a youngster to me. These are people who not only deserve our help, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demands that we help them. And that's how we should look at it. But I know I don't have to convince you.
Thank you for that. And the food bank is open on Wednesdays between?
Yes, it's open on Wednesdays at present, 10 a.m. till 12 a.m. And at present they have around 25 people in that 2-hour time slot who are coming to use the services, either for a small amount or for a week's groceries if they really need it. But there are other areas that need special funding, and a lot of hygiene products would come under that category that might be seen as luxuries when it's a choice between eating or using them. So things like toothpaste, shampoos, soaps, lotions, etc. If you're given money to buy food to feed the poor, that's all you can spend it on. But people could arrange to bulk buy some toothpaste or other products and donate them to the food bank to give away to people. Because you discuss dignity, and having a clean mouth, using a mishwak or a toothbrush is sunnah. So again, you gain the reward of helping people and of promoting a sunnah. So, but it needs people to say, I want to buy 500 people a toothbrush and some toothpaste. So it can all be done.
Yeah, and if you can actually help this food bank, it's on Clifton Road and open on presently now open on Wednesday between 10 and 12, and it's on the Unit 1, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, Unit 1. So if you please can help that food bank, it'll be really appreciated, and you'll get a lot of sawab from it. So thank you for that, Sheikh Amin Evans, for talking a little bit about that with us. So Hussein, you've got the next thing, so can we start with saying off with the salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Cause and effect are from the wisdom of Allah. He has connected the cause and effect of things. For example, the person who uses good methods in planting his crops will get a good harvest. Just the same way, a person who eats and drinks healthy will have a good health. Allah too has linked spiritual and metaphysical causes to spiritual results. Allah states that the one who is beneficial to his relatives will have an increase in lifespan. Also, Allah states that giving charity removes evil. We human beings wonder how the cause and effect is connected and what is the wisdom behind the incidents in life. Some causes and effects are easy to explain, and the wisdom behind them is clear. On the other hand, some of these phenomena are hard to explain. However, Islam stresses that giving charity increases sustenance. Following are few traditions that stress on this fact. Prophet Muhammad says that attracts sustenance by giving charity. Abu Abdullah says that Allah gives help to person equal in quantity to the charity a person gives. Imam Jafar Sadiq says that everything has a key, and key to sustenance is charity. Prophet Muhammad says that an act of charity shields 70 dead people from ill fate. Prophet Muhammad says that give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamity. Imam Jafar Sadiq says that an act of charity given openly prevents 70 types of mishaps, and a secretly given charity cools the anger of our Lord. Prophet Muhammad has also said that the angel of death is told to remove the soul of a person, but if during that time charity is given, then the order is removed, the soul is cancelled. It has been related in Al-Bihar that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says that Allah says that when the angel of death is asked to remove the soul of a person, and if he or she gives sadaqah, Allah orders the angel of death to stop. Imam Jafar Sadiq says that an act of charity shields us of 70 evils of this world, including an ill-fated death. The one who gives charity never dies ill-fatedly. According to Islamic beliefs, when we give charity, Allah, due to His mercy, changes our fate. Allah says in the Noble Quran that Allah removes what He wishes and establishes what He wishes, for He has the mother of books. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajah. Thank you, Saint. So Saint was talking about the wisdom that Allah put in this world of cause and effect, and he was mentioning there about charity as well. So if we give charity, what will the effect be? That our
good.
That
our soul will be.
Yeah, it will be more. That will be, how can you say, like stirred away from evil, if you understand that. So by giving charity, it removes the ill desires from us, so, and gives us this more piety that can strengthen us as well. Remember when we was talking about the piety and taqwa.
Yeah.
Remember that. And one of the ways of getting taqwa is by giving charity. So it removes our ill desires from us, and gives us this power and strength to control our nafs, our soul. So thank you for that, Hussein. And Misbah, you've got the next thing, so can start, Misbah, with the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
The great religion of Islam has only come for the benefit of mankind, and one of Allah's mercies on us that He subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened for us a great door of opportunity of doing good deeds, which remains open even after death. The key to this door is through charity and sacrifice. During his life, a Muslim may contribute his money towards the building of a mosque or an orphanage, or the printing of a useful book. After his death, these deeds lighten up his grave, and this indeed is a great opportunity unique to the teachings of Islam. A man should be so crafty so as to sow his farm only to reap the harvest in the hereafter. The teachings of our Imams have emphasized a lot on this aspect. Often Imam Ali alayhi salam used to raise his voice during the nights of the city of Kufa so as to be heard by everyone. Prepare for a journey and do good deeds with what you have been blessed, for what lies in front is difficult road of of obstacles and frightening junctions from which there is no escape. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam says that 3 things help a man after his death, and these are a charity given by him, a good habit he taught to others, and a good offspring he leaves behind who prays for his forgiveness. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that 4 things continue to reward a person even after his death: a man who dies on the true path, a good advice or knowledge given by him, and ask for forgiveness and ask for forgiveness on his behalf. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam says that 6 things benefit a man after his death: a pious son who asks for his forgiveness on his behalf, a copy of the noble Quran he read from, a tree he planted, a glass of water he quenched others' thirst with, a well he dug, and a good tradition or habit he left behind to those around him. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Thank you, Miss Bell. So Miss was talking about there that charity helps us even after we've passed away. So Miss gave a few examples there, saying that if we put money towards an orphanage being built, it would help the people there, wouldn't it? And if we die in that time, if we die and it's still up, and it's helping all these people, it will still be a reward on us, wouldn't it? Because we helped that and encouraged the building of that orphanage, and it helped that load of people, and that is what charity. And so charity can even help us after we've passed away. So thank you for that, Misbah. And Hussein, yes.
It's okay. I just wanted to,
if you want to put anything,
to add something on the rewards. That you've seen in the first part of this program and the discussion that to be classed as a real believer, you must give and believe in giving charity. And there's an interesting hadith in Shaykh Saduq's Man La Yurul Faqih, which is one of the 4 books of Shia hadith. And it's about death and dying. I was asked some questions on this. And the hadith says that when the believer is dying, Malikul Maut, the angel of death, will appear as someone he knows and loves. A Malikul Maut will come into the room and ask permission to approach the believer's bed. And then he will say to the believer, "May I take your soul now?" So you've got the image of, say, your parent who might have been long dead, or the image of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam approaching you and saying, "It's time to come with me now." We're often told what happens to bad people when Malikul Maut is seen, that he's terrifying, etc. But to the believer, he's a beautiful person, young and fit, and someone they love and respect, who comes up. And if the believer, the person who gives lots in charity, says, "I'm not quite ready," Malikul Maut will say, "I'll come back in a little while," and give them a little more time, and then come and ask permission. So death becomes a beautiful thing. And this is before you start getting the rewards in the afterlife. And so the importance of fulfilling your belief by charity just can't be repeated too often. It's so important.
Yeah, so we need to understand the rewards of giving charity, as Sheikh Amin Evans is telling us the beautiful reward of giving charity, that it can even help us at the time of our death and even after the time of our death as well. So thank you for that. You're saying you've got the next thing, so can you start saying off the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajum.
It is more blessed to give than to receive charity. A young man, a student in one of the university, was one day talking taking a walk with a professor who was commonly called the student's friend for his kindness toward the students. As they went along, they saw lying in the path a pair of old shoes, which they supposed to belong to a poor man who was employed in a field close by and who had nearly finished his day's work. The student turned to the professor, saying, "Let us play the man a trick. We will hide his shoes and conceal ourselves behind those bushes and wait to see his perplexity when he cannot find them." "My young friend," answered the professor, "we should never amuse ourselves at the expense of the poor, but you are rich and may give yourself a much greater pleasure by means of the poor man. Put a coin into each of his shoes, and then we will hide ourselves and watch how the discovery affects him." The student did so, and they both placed themselves behind the bushes close by. The poor man soon finished his work and came across the field to the path where he had left his coat and shoes. While putting on his coat, he slipped his foot into one of the shoes, but feeling something hard, he stooped down to feel what it was and found the coin. Astonishment and wonder were seen upon his countenance. He gazed upon the coin, turned it around, and looked at it again and again. He then looked around him on all sides, but no person was to be seen. He now put the money into his pocket and proceeded to put on the other shoe, but his surprise was doubled on finding the other coin. His feeling overcame him. He fell upon his knees, looked up to heaven, and uttered aloud a fervent thanksgiving, in which he spoke of his wife sick and helpless, and his children without bread, whom the timely bounty from some unknown hand would save from perishing. The student stood there deeply affected, and his eyes filled with tears. "Now," said the professor, "are you not much better pleased than if you had played your intended trick?" The young man replied, "You have taught me a lesson which I will never forget. I feel now the truth of those words which I never understood before. It is more blessed to give than to receive charity." Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Thank you for that, Hussein, and that was a really beautiful story. So Hussein was talking about two people were walking past. What was it? A professor and a student, and then they came across this man's shoes, and he was working somewhere else, and was it the student that wanted to? Yeah. So the student wanted to play a trick on that man and take his shoes and hide them, and when the man comes back, he's going to be worried, and he's going to be his shoes, his feet will be without any shoes, and the professor actually said, let's try something else. And what did he suggest?
To put a coin in both.
Yeah, to put a coin in both of his shoes. So and then the man came back. They were hiding behind the bushes. Then the man came back, and then he realized these two coins in the shoes. And then they're hiding somewhere, so no one can see them. And then when he's found these shoes, he falls to his knees, and what did he say?
He said, he talked about the wife and the people who are poor and the
and he talked about his family and his starving children, didn't he? Yeah, and he's saying he's thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also thanking the person who actually saved his wife and saved his family. So and so then the student behind the bushes, he felt this emotion and felt this pleasure that he had from helping that person and helping his starving family. So so then going back to the start of what Hussein said, saying that giving charity is better than receiving charity.
There's something else going on in this story as well. What if the workman were a really big man who looked like he was always eating? And he was doing a hard job, and he's ugly as well, and the sort of person most people would think doesn't need charity. Because when you give charity and your question on cause and effect was about this. You don't know where that money is going to end. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows where His rizq is intended. We're just passing it on. So, would you like to make me happy and help me with an experiment?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right then. Let me wriggle over. Because you see lots of scholars, and they're always telling you to give money, aren't they? Have you noticed? We do it from the minbar, from lecterns, on television. But, haha! I have something. So, that's just what I pulled out of my pocket, right? So, if I go, hold that, hold those, pass those, and am I allowed to throw on somebody?
Yeah, got it.
Right. Now, that is my sadaqah. I want you to give it to someone who needs it, but you must never tell me who you gave it to, because it's not my money, so why should I need to know? Would you do that?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm satisfied. You're smiling, she's smiling, he's smiling, I'm smiling. The game is, that's charity.
Yeah, so he's showing us like the how charity actually works. So make sure actually if you're gonna take this money now, so you're actually gonna give it to someone. So make sure are you all gonna give it to someone?
Yeah.
So when you see anyone walking down the street,
It's okay, I'm going to get Zayn to take it off you before you leave the studio.
Thank you, Sheikh Amin Evans, for coming today.
Oh, for coming.
Yeah, for coming today and giving us an insight on charity, and hope you all have learnt a lot from today's show, and hope people at home have learnt a lot from today's show as well. So I'll keep this for later and give it to someone. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Hidayat TV. But until then, good Hafiz.